Kung ikaw ay naghahanap ng makakausap,
Heartline.
kung ikaw ay nangangailangan ng isang kaibigan,
Heartline.
daluyan ng iyong damdamin at daluyan ng iyong bawat saloobin,
Heartline.
kung saan pinapakinggan ang iyong nararamdaman.
Magandang gabi. Ako po si Junjin Epalano para sa programang Heartline kung saan pinapakinggan ang iyong nararamdaman dito sa 702 DZAS FEBC Radio TV Agapay ng Sambayanan. Kasama ko si Miss Vicky Dichoco. Hi Miss Vicky.
Hello, Pastor Junjin. Magandang gabi po sa ating lahat ng mga nakikinig ngayong gabi at sa ating guest. Magandang gabi po sa inyo.
Joining us also, our guest is Pastor Sam. Pastor Sam is he's the District Ministry Supervisor for Metro Manila for Kamakop. So ano naman yung Kamakop? It's Christian and Missionary Alliance Churches of the Philippines. And with him is his wife, beloved wife, Miss Hope, who is the lead pastor of Silverland Alliance Fellowship Center. Yan. Kamusta po kayo?
Hello po, magandang gabi po.
Yes, good evening everyone sa lahat pong nakikinig dito po sa Heartline. Magandang gabi po sa ating lahat.
Dito sa Heartline, hatid namin sa inyo ang 2 oras ng usapang puso at counseling. Napapakinggan via online streaming sa FEBC PH. Sa pamamagitan rin ng Facebook Live, bisitahin lamang ang Facebook page ng 702 DZAS FEBC Radio. Pwede nyo rin po i-download sa inyong Android phone ang FEBC PH stream. Naanyayahan din namin kayo na mag-subscribe sa ating YouTube channel, 702 DZAS FEBC Radio TV, at mag-follow sa ating Instagram account, 702_DZAS FEBC Radio TV. O one word po yun. Also, para sa inyong counseling concern, mag-text at tumawag sa mga following numbers. Ang aming pong landline ay 8571-3904. At ang aming cellphone number ay ang 0917-828-4654. Pwede mo po kami kontakin ng Tuesday, Saturday, ng 9 a.m. to 12 noon. Maaari nyo ring i-browse aming website sa www.livingwatersphilippines.org. At pwede nyo rin kami i-message sa aming Facebook page, Living Waters PH. Miss Vicky, mukhang meron kayong gustong batiin kanina. Sino ba yung mga gusto mong batiin?
Oo, Pastor Junjin, maraming tayong mga tagahanga dyan. So, gusto kong batiin ang accountability group ko. Pero una, syempre gusto kong batiin ang aking butihing asawa. Butihin din ba ang tawag kahit lalaki, Kuya Junjin? Oo.
Hindi ko alam.
So, ang aking asawang si JV Dichoco at ang aking nag-iisang anak si Josiah Dichoco. At gusto ko rin batiin ang aking accountability group, Kuya Junjin, si Hazel, si Mildred, si Jane, si Chat, si Janelle at si Juliet. At syempre, ang ating mga tagapakinig na lagi nating suki na I want to greet also si Juliet Adrada, si Maria Teresa Lising, Juanita Fernandez at si Micheline Cayes. So yan, Kuya Junjin.
Yan ang ating mga loyal listeners. Right. Welcome din natin ating guest ulit, no? Si Pastor Sam at saka si Miss Hope, no? Baka meron po kayong gustong batiin.
Sige, ako mauna, no? Binabati ko yung aking mga co-workers sa Metro Manila District. I hope na nakikinig din sila sa gabing ito.
Oh. Kayo po, Miss Hope.
Ako naman, gusto kong batiin rin ang mga kasama ko sa simbahan from Silverland Alliance Fellowship Center. We have one na alam ko masugid talaga siyang taga-subaybay, si Attorney Alan. Hello, Attorney. Thank you for listening. Siya rin ang nagsabi sa akin na, meron din sila sa Facebook, ganun. So, hi, Attorney. Thank you for listening to us tonight.
Yeah. Since nagbabatian na rin, nagbabatiin ko na rin ang aking misis na si Wendy and my 5 kids. Of course, si Jill, si Sophia, si Leon, si Faith, at si Paris. And also my co-pastors at Victory Fort, led by Pastor Paulo Punsalan. Right. Ang dami namin pastor doon, so hindi ko na mention yung lahat, no? Pero yung ka-office ko sa pastoral care, si Pastor Daniel Trinidad. Sir Daniel, yung utang ko sa yung SD card, darating na yon. Alright. So, Pastor Sam and Pastor Miss Hope, no? Our main topic today is about the option of adoption, no? Marami kasing yung parang hindi people know about it, pero they're not really sure if it's a good option. Parang iba-iba kasing input na nare-receive ng mga tao. Kayo po, can you tell us briefly about your adoption experience?
Saan kayo magsisimula? Maybe one of the things that really brought us into adoption is people usually think that, couples going to adoption po dahil nga, alam mo yun, yung talaga ang sometimes it causes, marital conflict or whatsoever, no? May mga ganon or maraming pressure from the outside. But in our case, childlessness has never become an issue sa amin po talaga. But it was more of a burden, a calling from the Lord. Yan po. That's why we adopted mga, kasi sobrang contented kami, no? So, mga more than 10 years. We waited for like 10 years before we got into adoption po.
Oh, all right. So, among sa inyong dalawa, kanino nanggaling yung idea?
Sa akin po yan, Pastor. No, it's because may malalim ang aking hugot sa adoption. It's because ako rin mismo ay adopted. No, so kaya since 1999, we've been praying for a son. And then 10 years na, parang hindi pa sinasagot ni Lord yung aming panalangin. And the Lord has touched my heart. No, why not go for adoption? So it medyo matagal nag-sink in sa akin. Then finally I told my wife na let's adopt, pero meron siyang fear at that time, no? Sa fear niya is because baka hindi niya kayang mahalin yung bata. So sige, sabi ko, let's pray for that. So while waiting for my wife to have this her approval, so ang ginagawa ko, binibigyan ko siya ng mga materials, no, articles, books, o magazines about adoption. So it took us a year, no. Finally, when sinabi niyang yes, so di niya alam na ready na yung requirements for adoption. So inanda ko na yung nagtanong-tanong na ako sa mga social workers, what are the adoptions, anong process. So nung magsabi na niya ng yes, okay, we filed it right away sa Kaisahang Buhay Foundation. Yun ang NGO na tumulong sa amin, and we filed it sa DSWD.
So, Pastor, sorry po. So, Pastor and Miss Hope, legally adopted niyo po ba yung naging anak niyo, or you just brought the child in?
All right. So we choose legal adoption. It's because ayokong maranasan ng anak namin yung naranasan ko, because ako binigay lang ako sa adopted parents ko, then pinarehistro nila sa munisipyo at may kaibigang midwife, pinaperma lang yung midwife na gano'n, no? So kasi noon, way back 1974, wala pa tayong batas regarding that. Pero ngayon meron na tayo, no? So hindi na po pwede yung basta-basta ipamigay na lang tapos iparehistro kaagad. So meron pong criminal liabilities po yung mag-a-adapt pag ganun ang gagawin.
Yes.
All right. So, if I heard you right, no, una, you were not considering adoption, tapos pinagpe-pray nyo muna. Ano yung parang breakthrough moment na parang made you decide it's time to adopt? Ano yung parang breakthrough moment
Okay.
ninyo?
All right. One of the things that I really appreciate about Sam was that when he was telling me about adoption, he did not push the issue sa throat ko. I just listened to him, but I had a feeling that one day we will come to that kasi nga siya rin adopted, no? And then he would just, as Sam said kanina, he would just leave all these articles, and then he just let me be, process all the emotions. Siguro what made me really consider is one day I read this book, and after I read the book on adoption, talagang I really cried and cried and cried, and just God touched my heart. At that point, I realized that God closed my womb, but He opened my heart for adoption. Yun po talaga yun.
Oh, all right. So, I don't know if you mentioned it. So, how long did you pray? Ang yung praying time, waiting time, how long was that?
2 years? 1 year ba? For me, mas sandali lang kay Pastor Sam, but for me, it took a while, maybe 2 years, 1 to 2 years. But when I said yes, I was kind of surprised dahil handa na lahat ng documents. He just had to pull me and attend the seminar because the documents were all ready. Siguro really by faith, he knew that I would say yes one day, but without pressure, without, na pushing the issue talaga to me. And I admire him for that.
Oh, ang galing naman nun. Nakahanda.
Strategy po yun, Pastor.
So what was
Kaya pala
going on?
I'm sorry.
What was
I'm
going
sorry.
on in your mind, Pastor Sam, when you were preparing the documents? How was that? How was that experience?
Siyempre, at that time, di malis yung pagdududa mo rin. Baka sabi ko, baka hindi papayag. So sabi ko, kasi yung mga requirements na yun, may expiration dates eh. So good for certain months lang, years, something like that. Pero malakas ang kutob ko kasi na papayag din ito. Kasi pinagpipray ko rin na sana makita niya rin. Kasi ang nasa heart ko at that time talaga is yung pay it forward, no? Because kung ano yung ginawa sa akin nung nag-adapt sa akin, because through adoption, nakilala ko ang Panginoon. Because nagpapasalamat ako dahil ang nag-adapt sa akin were Christian couple, no? Napunta ako sa Kristiyanong pamilya, and through them, nakilala ko ang Panginoon at the early age of my life. So sabi ko, Lord, ito yung gusto ko ring gawin. Ito yung gusto ko ring gawin sa i-adapt namin na through us, makilala niya rin ang Panginoon. So, yun talaga, pinursigi ko talaga, hiningi ko sa Panginoon na papayag yung aking asawa on the issue of adoption.
Kuya Junjin, nakakatuwa sila kasi yung iba nag-iisip na kumuha na lang ng mga pamangkin para makasama sa bahay, or di ba yung iba kukuha na lang ng mga kamag-anak, no? Pero hindi niyo po naisip yung option na yon.
There was a time na merong ibibigay sa akin na anak ng first cousin ko. Pero nung winark out na namin, na napalapit na yung bata sa amin. Kaya lang on the last minute nag-back out. So napakahirap yung moment na yun. No, we really want kasi namatay yung first cousin ko, so naiwan na lang sa father niya. Tapos napakaliit pa. So there was a time, pero sabi ko mukhang mas mahirap ata kung kamag-anak. Kasi baka last moment babawiin nila. Wala naman kaming kasulatan. Kasi I heard a lot of cases kasi na hindi legal yung process, nung lumaki na yung bata, walang nagawa yung nag-adapt kasi wala naman silang legal basis na panghawakan na anak na nila ito. So may right pa rin yung biological parents, especially yung nanay. So we heard a lot of testimonies regarding that. Kaya ayaw namin yung ganung pamaraan, no? Ayaw namin yung ganun. So we went through the process talaga, no? Even though it was quite challenging because at
Yes.
that time napaka-tedious talaga ng process, but we thank the Lord because ngayon pinaiksian na nila yung
Yes.
proseso ng adoption, which is very favorable sa mga couple o parents na gusto rin mag-adopt.
So, Pastor, nabanggit nyo na rin po yung process ng adoption, no? So, baka po interesado po yung mga nakikinig natin kung ano po yung proseso na yon uli.
Oh yes, during our time, medyo mahaba yung process kasi nung nag-apply kami, through tinulungan po kami ng Kaisahang Buhay Foundation. Ito po ay isang NGO. Then we submit all the requirements and then sinubmit ito doon sa DSWD. Ang DSWD, meron silang matching committee, no? Sila po ang namimili ng bata para sa amin. Oo, so hindi yung pupunta ka doon sa orphanage para pipili ka na lang, no? Hindi. You have to specify anong gusto mo, normal ba o may special need. No? So ang hiningi namin kay Lord at that time, gusto namin ng lalaki 1 year old below. Oo, 1 year old below, yun ang aming hiningi. Pero nasa batas pala natin, madideclare lang yung bata na for adoption 3 months above. Oo, 3 months above. Yes.
3 months above because the mother needs to decide po whether i-waive niya na yung rights niya sa bata or hindi. Kasi only after 3 months, pwedeng mag-decide ang mother. So after 3 months, when she decides that I have to let go of the child, technically state-owned na yung bata. So pwede na po siya, for adoption na siya. Yung ganun. Kasi we really wanted an infant no? Yung parang ganon. Pero hindi pala talaga. It's not that easy because of, they were given, mothers are given the chance to consider their decision. Ganun po. Pero prior to the matching committee po, nag-attend po muna kami ng seminar, yung mga ganon.
Pre-adoption seminar.
Yes, and then we had visits from the social worker. 6 months din ang visits niya, no? Prior to the adoption, they want to see the place, ganon, where the child is gonna stay or gonna have his room, ganon po. Mga 6 months po yan. And then kapag nandyan na yung bata, bibisita pa rin yung social worker po. Ganon po. Proseso po. Medyo mahaba talaga. And of course, we have these court proceedings, which took us like 4 years.
4 years.
4 years ang
So,
legal
mahaba rin po
proceedings.
pala.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, kasi na-raffle kasi kami sa isang executive judge dito sa Quezon City which gusto niya talaga yung step by step, no? Tapos tapos ang hearing lang po is quarterly lang. So 3 times kaming na-reset. So that's 9 months delayed, no? So we thank the Lord, but despite of that, kaya maraming hindi nag-a-adapt legally is because of the long process.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So
Yeah.
before we proceed to the first counseling question, I just want to ask a related question. No? I'm not sure if you can answer this. Yung adoptive parents ba are made aware of the reason why the parent is giving away the child? Meron bang ganon or hindi sinasabi sa inyo?
Okay, let me answer that. Yes po. Actually, ako mismo, I asked for the history of the mother and even the family because I know that one day my son will be looking for his biological parents and we do not want to deprive him of that. And so we took the
Ay,
history
galing.
and we have all the papers to back that up and sino yung mommy niya, sino yung mga kapatid niya, anong nangyari along the way. We have all that po. And ang hindi lang pwede, yung lumapit yung mother after sa bata po. Yung ganun po na mga ano, may batas po tayo laban diyan na once the child is adopted, hindi na po pwedeng lumapit yung biological mother sa ano po, sa bata po. So yes, we are aware of the history why he was given up, of which we truly admire kasi mothers just don't give up. May mga ano talaga sila, may mga hardcore reasons why they do that. And we always tell our son that your mother, your biological mother loves you so much. We want him to grow up knowing that he is loved even though he was, even though the mother opted to, give him ganun. It's still heroic. Gusto namin na maging hero pa din yung mom niya in his eyes because that is true. She did not just give him up for no reason at all. She had her own reasons po.
Pastor Junji, naalala ko dito yung yung habang nagsasalita si Miss Hope, meron akong kakilala na ginib up niya rin yung bata, nasa bahay ampunan na. Pero after more than 3 months, nag-decide siya na gusto niya nang bawiin yung bata. Pero dahil nakapag-sign na siya ng waiver and all,
Hindi
Oo, hindi na. Pinuntahan niya, iyak siya ng iyak kasi hindi niya na makuha yung bata. At sabi sa
Yes.
kanya, meron lang kung gusto mo, mag-a-apply din siya ng i-adapt yung bata. Oo, pero merong binigay na mga qualifications na hindi siya nag-qualify. So, grabe,
Oh,
no?
that's really sad.
Oo,
Oo,
sad. Iyak siya ng
tragic.
iyak. Sobra.
Wow.
Mm.
Ganun pala, no? Actually,
Mhm.
maraming agencies ngayon na very active in in giving that option of adoption, no? Well, in relation to our topic for last month, no, we were talking about abortion, no? About abortion and how yung kasi is takot sila ma-inconvenience or it will get in the way of their career growth or iba estudyante pa lang or ang daming reasons for abortion. But parang nalilimutan yung option that
Option. Oo.
hindi naman kailangan i-abort yung bata. There's another option. You can go on with your life and someone else will take care of the child. Will lead us to the first question. No? I think after asking the first question, we'll take a break after. Sige, Miss Vicky, maybe you can ask the first counseling question.
Okay, ito po yung first counseling question natin. Ako po ay aminadong nagkamali sa mga desisyon ko sa buhay at nabuntis ngayong 20 pa lang. Hindi pa po ako handa, ngunit ayoko pong i-abort ang bata. Ayoko na pong magkasala pa. Nagigilty naman po akong magpaampon. Ano po ang maipapayo ninyo sa akin?
Yan. Yan ang ating first counseling question. So, sasagutin natin yan, mga kapatid. Sasagutin natin yan after the break. Okay, so we'll see you again in a few minutes.
Heartline, kung saan pinapakinggan ang iyong nararamdaman.
Kapag tinawag ka ng pagmamahal, sumagot ka agad. Panatag, marangal. Naririto ako at handang maglingkod.
Sundin mo ang sariling puso't kalooban, hindi ang bulong, bighani at tukso na mga wikang banyaga sa iyo.
Matitiis mo ba ang patalim ng balakyot? Magtitiis pa ba sa gisi ng maiksing kumot? Mahihimbing ka bang alipin ng takot?
Ang pag-ibig mo ay walang kapantay, kundi ang pag-ibig din ng minamahal. Huwag mo siyang bayaang maghintay.
Gumising ka, manindigan. Bawat patak ng luha niya'y isang dagat. Bawat ngiti ng tagumpay niya'y watawat. Kapag tinawag ka ng pagmamahal, sumagot ka agad. Matatag marangal, walang bakit, sana maglingkod.
Ito ay hango mula sa tulang Mamamayan ni Rio Alma. Paalaalang hatid ng inyong 702 DZAS FEBC Radio TV. Agapay ng Sambayanan.
Ito ang 702 DZAS, agapay ng sambayanan, na papakinggan sa buong mundo sa www.febc.ph sa pamamagitan ng Bitstop Network Services.
Heartline, kung saan pinapakinggan ang iyong nararamdaman.
Magandang gabi po sa inyong lahat. Tayo po ay nagbabalik sa ating programang Heartline kung saan pinapakinggan ang inyong nararamdaman. Ako po si Vicky Di Choco at kasama po natin si Pastor Junjin Gepelano at ang ating mga guest, si Pastor Sam and Miss Hope. So, Kuya Junjin, baka meron kang gustong batiin.
Yes, I just want to give special mention to Attorney Jeremiah, actually Pastorny, Pastor and Attorney Jeremiah Bellica, for our August 15 episode wherein he gave his insights about the Roe versus Wade decision overturning abortion laws in the US and how it affects our abortion laws here in the Philippines. Also, I just want to give special mention sa mga nagko-comment about last episode. Si Teresa Casino Velasco, sabi niya, powerful. When you're aborting a child, you are aborting God's plan for his life. So, kinote niya si Pastor ni Jeremiah. And also si Maria Eloisa de Jesus. Sabi niya, thank you, Pastor Jeremiah, for what you have just shared and explained in a biblical perspective. So, yun po, yun ang mga gusto kong bigyan ng special mention. So, Miss Vicky,
Gusto ko lang ding mag-thank you, Kuya Junjin, sa ating mga writers, Si BJ Candole, si Mahal Masculino, si Banjoy Santillan, and si Carmen Go Vargas. Ayan. At meron pa tayong mga gusto ko ting batiin ang masisipag nating mga tagapakinig, si Leonila Garcia Zamora, Leonida Teles Sacada Rubio, Cynthia Sabala Chavez Valencia, and si Jonah JP Kisinamal Parolan. So, salamat po sa inyong pagkikinig sa amin gabi-gabi. Ay, gabi-gabi tuloy. Kuya Junji, kala ko lagi tayong nasa online
Miss Vicky, pakiulit nga yung ating for the sake of those who just checked in, mga bagong pasali sa atin. Ano ba yung ating counseling question?
So ito yung counseling question natin. Ako po ay aminadong nagkamali sa mga desisyon ko sa buhay at nabuntis ngayong 20 pa lang ako. Hindi pa po ako handa, ngunit ayoko pong ipa-abort ang bata. Ayoko na pong magkasala pa. Nagigilty naman po ako magpaampon. Ano po ang maipapayo ninyo sa akin? So ano po ba ang maipapayo natin sa kanila, Pastor Sam and Miss Hope? Baka po meron po kayong mga...
Sa akin, dalawa lang po yung options niya. Una is to palakihin niya yung bata. That's the right way. Huwag niya nang dagdagan yung pagkakamali niya. Pangalawa, pwede naman niyang ipaampon. Which I can relate to that dahil yun ang reason bakit ako pinamigay ng biological mother ko. Kasi my mom was just 18 years old at that time. She was a college student. And ayaw niyang malaman ng magulang niya sa probinsya na nabuntis siya. At yun, ang ginawa niya, pinamigay niya ako doon sa adoptive parents ko. Ang ginawa lang is binayaran ng adoptive parents ko yung hospital. Yun lang. Tapos pinamigay niya na po ako. So that was kaya two options lang po ang aking mapayo po sa ating kapatid.
Ako naman, if you were to ask me, nagtatanong, marami po tayong mga support group sa mga, katulad sa mga nangyari sa yung mga sitwasyon, and there are people who are really willing to journey with us until you are able to make the decision, lalong-lalo na kapag nandyan na yung bata. Kasi ngayon, medyo halo-halo pa yung mga emosyon, but may mga grupo po na pwedeng tumulong po sa inyo, and then kapag nailabas na yung baby, perhaps at that time you can make the decision. Yun po.
Yeah. Itong natin, nagbigay ng question, I could understand yung nagigilty siya na ipaampon yung anak niya, no?
Oo.
So malamang may fear yon. So na baka hindi maalagaan yung child,
Yung
no?
bata.
So Pastor Sam, ano yung masasabi mo doon so to address that fear?
Alright. Siguro ang pwede kong maipayo sa kanya, siguro that's the initial reaction talaga, no? Yung takot, baka the more siyang mag-guilty tapos makita niya o mabalitaan niya na hindi naman inalagaan yung bata. So I think we have institution like that. Meron naman tayong mga orphanages na would really take care, no, sa welfare ng mga bata. And I think isa lang din ang malaking challenge sa orphanages natin is that yung mag-age out sila sa orphanage, no? Kasi pag walang mag-adapt sa kanila, I think there is a certain age, I think 18, no? 18 years old pag wala pa rin. So they have to go on their own way na. Oo. So I think legit naman po yung fear ng ating tagapakinig regarding that. So initial reaction talaga yung takot, no? Baka marami tayong mga possibilities, baka hindi maalagaan, but pero ang aking payo talaga is palakihin niya, oo, or if di kaya talaga, valid naman yung reasons, go for adoption. Kasi sigurado yan mapupunta yung bata doon sa maalagaan talagang bata sa isang pamilya.
And Pastor Junjin, if I may add po, grabe ang screening nila sa mga adoptive parents. I think that's one thing I like about our law, kasi hindi basta-basta pinamimigay yung bata, no? Grabe ang screening nila, tinitingnan talaga nila yung capacity ng magulang, not only financially but even psychologically,
Grabe pala.
and physically. Opo, may cut-off po yung adoption hanggang 45 ka lang yung pwedeng mag-adopt at that time na alam namin. So beyond that, hindi na po pwede kasi syempre they are also looking into the welfare of the child. Kasi syempre kung 15 years old yung bata and you adopted beyond 45, no? So bale, senior citizen na, paano na lang yung future ng bata. So these are some of the things that na kinoconsider ng ating law, which na nakakatulong talaga in terms of yung security ng bata. So yung they really look into the welfare of the child. Kaya siguro grabe ka-tedious yung laws natin on adoption.
And also, may dagdag lang ako, doon sa matching committee, I said during that time yung experience namin, we have kasabay namin nag-apply for adoption, mga lawyers, no, engineers. So, na-disapprove sila. So, tinanong ko, anong reason? Sabi ko sa social worker namin. Kasi ang matching committee, tinitingnan nila, baka yung mga bata, aalagaan lang din ng mga yaya, hindi rin sila mag-aalaga. No? So, makita natin doon pa lang sa matching committee, chine-check na talaga nila kung maalagaan ba ang batang ito o hindi.
Oh.
So, yun po.
In case po na i-keep nitong ating nagtanong ng question yung nag-decide siya to keep naman, ano po, at hindi ipa-adapt, meron din po bang tumutulong ng mga government agencies para to her, kasi yung fear niya rin, kunwari yung fear niya rin, hindi niya naman maalagaan talaga yung bata. Siya mismo, meron din po bang sakaling mag-decide siya to keep the child, meron din po bang mga tumutulong na government agencies to help her if she will keep the child?
Yes po, yes po. Meron po talaga. May mga napuntahan tayo, sweetheart, no? Kasi yung mga kasagsagan ng mga ganong panahon ay nakakapunta rin po kami sa iba't ibang mga agencies, nakaka-visit. And yes, meron po talaga until such time na mag-decide na talaga yung mother kung anong gagawin sa bata. And of course, I'm sure that yung mga fears natin, mga initial reactions, but tayo mga Filipinos, very loving talaga tayo. We have our family always, no, to back us up, gano'n naman po. Yan po.
Yeah. Actually, when you mentioned that, I remember getting in touch with that kind of agency, no? It was a French agency dyan
I know that.
sa may Malate, no? Sa may Malate nakita ko rin.
Yes.
They have 3 houses at that time, 3 houses. Tapos, yun nga, they help. Actually, most of their, na natulungan nila are actually helpers who got pregnant because of
Yes.
yung amo, no? Amo, ganyan. So, and they said na talagang maximum, effort na iiwan, to the point na iiwan na nga daw sa kanila yung bata for a long time, tapos bibisita na lang yung mother until sa point na kaya na ng mother to stand up on their own, to get the mother are actually going through parang mga seminars pa to educate them.
Yeah.
Para
Yes.
talagang they could stand in their own feet. And they're given, I think, 1 to 2 years to have a job and establish a career. Then kukunin nila yung
Bata.
bata. Baga meron talagang support. No,
Yes.
para sa mga...
Yes. Yes, Pastor Junjin, I saw that, I've been to that place po. Kaya marami akong nakitang mga mommies doon, yung mga buntis, yung may mga bagong panganak, and they even take yung mga bata with really very, very special needs, no? Yung very hard, very difficult to take it. And I saw also their place talaga. Because at that time we went there, I think the president of France was also there at that time, who visited the place. So I'm familiar with that place po.
And sabi na they're not alone. Marami daw katulad nila.
Yes.
Agency.
Surprisingly.
Meron pong support group,
Yes.
no? Yeah, so marami pong mag-journey sa ganyang situation.
Yeah.
And I think what we need is just to raise awareness na may mga grupo po tayong ganon. Because I think many women do not know na marami tayong mga ganong mga support groups po, lalo na dito sa Pilipinas.
Yeah.
Saka-
Actually, sige, Miss Vicky. Sige.
So, Kuya Junjin, parang ang naririnig ko talagang kung sino man yung nagtanong na to, no, maganda yung magpa-counseling muna and then talagang pag-isipang mabuti kung ano yung kung ano yung pwede naman pala yung may option naman pala na i-keep at marami rin namang tutulong, no? So, kesa yung mag-decide agad kasi you will be giving your child din a chance to live a happy life if you will keep yung anak mo na iba pa rin talaga yung nanay ang nag-aalaga din. And of course,
Yes.
mag-decide ka namang ipa-adapt, meron naman ding chance for your child na mamuhay talaga ng masagana, no?
Yeah. Ang kasi doon yung you said, no, yung awareness, no, Miss Hope. Kasi totoo lang, ang awareness ng mga tao is based on movies. Yung mga drama,
Yeah.
movies wherein kawawa naman yung pina-adapt. Although I'm sure there are real stories of kawawa yung napa-adapt. But statistically, actually, maraming magandang lumabas. Mas marami actually, minority yung sad story. Pero most actually
Yes.
had a very good story of being adopted legally. Tapos, kasi mga sa palabas, kontrabida yung gobyerno. Alam mo yun?
Yeah.
Nahirapan sila
Yeah.
ng gobyerno. Tapos, kinawawa nung nag-adopt yung adopted. I'm sure those happens. Pero, majority is okay. No? Everything turned out good. Of course, may kaibigan akong adopted. Nung tumanda kami, na-realize niya. Kasi totoo lang, dumaan siya sa time na parang feeling niya kawawa siya, ganyan. Pero when we got older, he realized yung problema pala namin na dinaanan namin na hindi adopted, yung emotional turmoil na nangyari in our emotional storm namin. At saka yung emotional storm nila, actually the intensity is just the same. Magkaiba lang. Pero lahat naman ng tao may problema, di ba? Lahat naman ng tao.
Yes.
Iba lang yung pinagdaanan ng adopted, iba lang yung pinagdaanan ng hindi adopted, pero parehong may pagdadaanan. No?
Yes.
Yun. Encouragement lang to the one who might take that option, dun sa listener natin, na you cannot shield people from problems, whether they're adopted or not. No?
Yes po.
Kuya Junjin, may tanong lang ako sa mag-asawa. So, ano nga po pala yung pangalan ng anak nyo, if okay lang? Tapos ano po yung
Yes, ako kasi ako talaga nag-name sa kanya. Actually, when we were praying, we were thinking of the name, I was, writing the names, so mga possible names, ganun. And then I prayed to the Lord while writing. Sabi ko, God, will you please choose the baby? Kasi hindi ka pwedeng mamili, di ba? Kasi ang nakikita natin sa TV, hala, yung mga pupunta yung adoptive parents, tuturo kung sino, hindi pala ganon. So I prayed to the Lord that time, saying, you choose the baby for us. Tapos sinulat ko choose. Ay, sabi ko, parang maganda chosen. Kasi God chose the baby for us and He chose us to be His parents. Kaya His name is Chosen Samuel. Kasi yung Samuel po, as we know, we ask the Lord for him, no, in the Bible. And of course, si Sam also is named Samuel po. Kaya Chosen Samuel po ang name ng anak namin.
So kayo na po pala ang nagpangalan sa anak nyo.
Oo, pero Ma'am Vicky, actually, he was already registered when we had him. So, we had to change his name talaga. Isa yun sa mga ipinaglaban namin sa korte, change name, because he was already registered sa kanyang name biologically. So, when we travel before, he had his documents kasi iba yung pangalan niya. Eh, ang ibang mga cities very cautious sila sa child trafficking, which is really good. No? So, minsan pinapatabi kami kasi iba yung pangalan niya sa pangalan namin. So, ganun din, pinagdaanan namin yan. So, again, the legal battle was like 4 years. And after that, his name was changed into Chosen Samuel Carino.
Oh, okay. How old is your son right now?
He is 11. Actually, we tried to invite him. Sabi ko, are you ready to share? Sabi niya, nanay, wala namang issue sa akin ng adoption. Kaya lang parang kinakabahan daw siya. Yung sa mga ganito, sa mga interviews. Yeah.
Oh, all right. Nice. Galing. Thank you for your answers, no? So, Miss Vicky, meron ba tayong mga additional na katanungan?
Yung tanong ko sa kay Miss Hope, kay Pastor Sam, ano po yung nabago sa buhay nyo mula nung magdesisyon kayo na i-adopt si Chosen?
Okay. Kami ni Sam, we are so used to just being the two of us, so we can, just go anywhere. But when we had Chosen, of course, lahat ng priorities mo mag-change talaga. Number one yun. And I think adoption, it's not easy. In fact, admittedly, it's messy. But God is in our mess, which I really love about Him. He is in our mess. And so, isa sa mga nagbago kasi we consider adoption as character changing and character building. Minsan, nakala mo mabait ka until you become a mom. I'm speaking for myself, ha? I'm not speaking for others. Until you become a mom and, yung ganun po. That's for me. Una-una, nag-change yung priorities. And of course, our person, personally, I learned to operate from the Father's love. Kasi minsan, sa sobrang highlighted na yung hindi maganda ang naging buhay ng adoptive parents or yung adopted sa nagrebelde, sometimes, fear is just there, no? And so, I told myself, I will not operate from the place of fear because I will not be the best mom that he could have. And, he will not grow in a safe place kapag we will always operate from the place of fear. Ay, sa'yo, Siddharth, ano nagbago sa'yo?
Actually, marami, no? Marami kang bago dahil before, we can go out sa bahay anytime of the day, sa gabi, we can travel. Pero ngayon, bago talaga dahil ngayon, bit-bit namin. Kasi meron pa siyang separation anxiety, no? Takot siyang maiwan. Oo, so we believe na ito ay isang effect ng adoption kasi from the very start, rejected na siya ng biological mother niya. So meron talagang effect sa bata.
Yeah.
So ito yung parati naming ginagawa ngayon. I-assure namin yung anak namin na nandito lang kami. So that's why at his age ngayon, no, 11, hindi pa siya pwedeng maiwan. Kaya kung may mga conference kami, bit-bit namin yan. Oo, kaya so marami nagbago pero napakaganda naman dahil iba talaga yung meron kang merong anak, no? May bata sa bahay. Nagbago yung aming pananaw, yung perspective namin bilang magulang. Napakaraming challenges pero worth naman po yung mga pinagdaanan po namin.
Yeah. You mentioned yung parang about the father heart of God. Parang that's how I heard it, no? So how did this adoption experience affect your relationship, the way you view God, or the way you believe God sees you? Meron bang ganon na nangyari?
Ako muna sasagot. Yes po, yung sometimes I feel that iba ang pagmamahal talaga ng Panginoon. Kasi 'di ba kapag na-practice mo yung parenthood or yung motherhood sa bata, you can just, you reflect on the Father's love for you, very unconditional, incredible, tremendous, and sometimes you don't think that you have the capacity to that kind of love, but because of the Father's love, you are able to love the child beyond your, sometimes your imagination na pwede mo pala siyang mahalin. Kasi isa yun sa mga fears ko na I don't want to adopt because, you know that the child did not come from you. So baka hindi ko siya kayang mahalin as my own. But because of the Father's love, it's really because of the Father's love that you are able to love the child more than you can ever think or imagine. Father's love po talaga.
Nice. Kayo po,
Sa
Pastor
akin
Sam.
naman, sa akin na-develop talaga yung patience. Ano? Oo, kasi that's one of my weaknesses, yung patience. Pero nung dumating yung anak namin, grabe, na-test talaga yung patience ko, which every time na nasa-challenge, nire-reflect ko kaagad yung patience din ni Lord sa akin. Oo, parang Lord, you have been so patient with me through the years and I know I can be patient with my son as well. No? So, but at the end of the day, natatagumpayan din yung mga challenges.
Na realize ko din, Kuya Junjin, na habang nagsasalita sila, no, yung ako rin nga pala, adopted din tayo as sons and daughters of the Heavenly Father, no?
Yes.
And
Yes.
the way the Father God has fathered us, we can also extend this fathering love
Yes,
to the adoptive. Kasi kung hindi mo matatanong, Kuya Junjin, and Pastor Sam and Miss Hope, sa bahay namin, meron din akong mga batang inaalagaan. Pero anak ito ng yaya ko, pero sa akin na sila lumaki. So ang tawag nila sa amin, mommy, daddy, no? So alam mo yun, kaya yung feel ko din yun, how it is to be parang adoptive parents. Though hindi ko naman sila legally adopted kasi nandyan naman yung nanay nila nagtatrabaho sa amin. Pero sa amin na sila lumaki since birth na sa amin na. So yung pagmamahal ng ama na ni Kuya Jinjin sinasabi, yung father's love, alam mo yung as I felt yung adoption ko din as daughter. So yun din ang ine-extend ko dito sa mga batang to na wala silang mga ama. I mean, hindi namin kasama na ang mga ama.
Yeah. Ako rin may experience na I have a cousin who grew up with us kasi nga yung parent niya couldn't, there were circumstances. So basically, he grew up thinking na kami yung mga kapatid niya until mga age 5 or 6 until he realized hindi namin siya kapatid, no? But now he's already close to 46, 47 years old and with a family as well and doing really well, not just financially but as a parent. Meron pa nga siyang special child, no? Doing very well, very loving, very patient, very understanding. Minsan nga, doon ko nakikita grace talaga ni Lord ang mag-empower sa tao regarding
Yes.
being a parent as well, no? So yun, siya technically not legally, no, kasi kadugo namin talaga siya. And eventually naman yung tita ko took over, no, pero late na, nasa 20s na siya. It turned out well and I believe na it really works.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So ilang
Adoption
taon
kasi
po
talaga
niyo?
is very
Ay, sorry. Go ahead po, Ms. Hope.
Habang nakikinig lang talaga ako, no, adoption is really very godlike. Although I know that it's not for everyone, but we can, it's a calling. I believe it's not for everyone, but we can do our part. Marami tayong pwedeng gawin for adoptive parents, kasi advocates din kami ng adoption. So marami tayong pwedeng gawin for adoptive parents, supporting them, helping them, and even for the adopted child. And I'm just so glad that our community, they are very open sa where our son grew up, and everybody knows our story actually. So no judgments whatsoever, and yun lang. Very godlike talaga ang adoption.
May question ako Kuya Junjin. So, ilang taon po si Chosen nung pinaalam niyo sa kanya na adopted siya? At kayo din po, Pastor Sam, ilang taon kayo noon nung malaman ninyo na adopted kayo?
Okay.
2. We started telling him when he was actually 2.
2 years old.
Kinikilig siya kasi, yung mga ganun, saya-saya niya. But I think it really sank sa kanyang awareness. Yung when he was like 10 during the pandemic, and we had to deal with him in a very, very difficult way. He's here. Would you like to say hi?
Ako naman, nalaman ko na adopted ako, grade 6 na po ako eh. Kaya tagal kong, yung adoptive parents ko ata, walang balak sabihin sa akin. Pero at the early stage pa lang, napapansin ko something's wrong. No? Kasi yung nag-adapt sa akin, lalaki ng mga mata nila, tatangos ng ilong. Ako parang baliktad ah. Sabi ko, singkit yung mata ko, tapos pango yung ilong. Then, nung naging 4 years old na ako, nagkaanak sila. So, sabi ko, malayo yung itsura namin. Kaya sabi ko, I have to ask. So, one Saturday morning, tinanong ko yung nanay ko kung ampon ako. Tapos yun, umiyak na siya. So, yun na. Sabi ko, totoo nga talaga na ampon ako. So, yun po.
Alright, yeah, maybe it's connected to our next question, no? Sige, ako na magtatanong ng ating next question, next counseling question. Nabully ako ng maraming beses nung bata ako dahil ako ay isang ampon. Naranasan ko mabully ng mga kalaro ko at pinsan ko dahil dito. Hindi ko naman ginusto ang naging sitwasyon ko. Masama ang loob ko dahil para bang kasalanan ko pa na kinupkup ako. Ayoko naman po na umalis na bigla dahil sa utang na loob ko sa pamilyang nagpalaki sa akin. Ano po ba ang pwede kong gawin? Yan. Ang ganda ng tanong natin. Ang daming pwedeng sagot dyan, no? So, to our listeners, we hope the last question interests you the way it interests us. And we'll see you after the break.
Heartline, kung saan pinapakinggan ang iyong nararamdaman.
Tiyaga, tiyaga, tiyaga. Pray, pray, pray. Yan po ang lagi nating panawagan para sa lahat ng mga Pilipinong nasa ibang bansa. Tiyaga sa napakahaba at komplikadong prosesong hatid ng pabago-bagong adjustment. Tiyaga sa trabaho sa kabila ng matinding pananabik na makauwi na at makasama ang pamilya. Tiyaga sa pananalangin dahil ang ating Diyos ay walang sawa sa pagtugon sa ating mga dulog sa Kanya. Sabi nga po sa unang Tesalonica, Kabanatang 5, talatang 16 hanggang 18, maggalak kayong lagi, palagi kayong manalangin at magpasalamat kayo sa Diyos sa lahat ng pagkakataon, sapagkat ito ang kalooban ng Diyos para sa inyo, sa inyong pakikipag-isa kay Hesus Kristo. Ako po ang inyong kaagapay, Pastor Attorney Carlos Kuya Kaloy Cao Jr. Sumasaludo, umaagapay at nananalangin para sa ating mga overseas Filipino workers.
Sumasay papawid mula sa Maynila. Ito ang Far East Broadcasting Company Philippines.
FEBC
Himpilang
702 DZAS.
Agapay ng Sambayanan. Heartline. Kung saan pinapakinggan ang iyong nararamdaman.
Jesus, ang
Good evening once again. Welcome to the Monday edition of Heartline. Dito po sa DZAS Radio TV. Itong programang ito in partnership with us, Living Waters Philippines. And now we're talking about, last week we talked about abortion. And today we're talking about an alternative, no, to abortion, which is adoption. No? So with me, of course, is Miss Vicky Di Choco and our special guest, Pastor Sam and Miss Hope. And before we start, no, I just wanna give credit, no. Napakinggan ninyo kanina yung aming theme song. Yung aming theme song, yung
Agos ng
about
Buhay.
Agos ng Buhay, no. So I hope you are able to listen to the lyrics, no. It's a song composed by one of our missionaries, Patrick Henarao. And yung nag-handle itong program namin for Living Waters is Pauline Montero. So we have an official lyric. Yung napakinggan nyo is the official lyric video. So feel free to share that video. It's available on YouTube. So the song is Agos ng Buhay. Again, by Pauline.
Henarao.
Pauline and Patrick Henarao. Yes.
Oo.
Alright, tama.
Sabi mo, Montero pa eh. Dalaga pa si
Kasi
Pauline nun.
dalaga pa siya nung na-compose yun.
Oo, tama.
Oh, yun.
Okay.
Pero ngayon, mag-asawa na sila. O, di ba? Alright. So, as we continue, let me repeat ano yung question natin. Kasi parang ngayon nagsishift na tayo dun sa buhay naman nung na-adapt. No? So, ito yung sitwasyon. Sabi niya, nabully ako ng maraming beses nung bata ako dahil ako ay isang ampon. Karanasan ko mabully ng mga kalaro ko at pinsan ko dahil dito. Hindi ko naman ginusto ang naging sitwasyon ko. Masama ang loob ko dahil para bang kasalanan ko pa na kinupkup ako. Ayoko naman po na umalis na lang bigla dahil sa utang na loob ko sa pamilyang nagpalaki sa akin. Ano po ang pwede kong gawin? So, Pastor Sam, Miss Hope, ano pong mapapayo nyo dito sa ating caller?
Yeah.
No?
Yes, nakaka-relate ako, no? Nabully rin kasi ako noon kasi makalaro ko elementary days. Ang tawag nila sa akin hapon sa ganon kasi singkit yung aking mata tapos yun nabanggit din pag nagkaroon kami ng away ng mga kalaro ko sinasabi nila sa akin na ampon ka lang ganon. So which noong una hindi ko pa gaanong dinidibdib, no? Baka niloloko lang ako, binibiro lang ako. Pero nung lumaki ako, yung nga, nasbanggi ko kanina na something's wrong, no? Dahil mukhang napakalayo ng mukha ko sa mukha ng nag-ampon sa akin at yung kanilang anak. No? So, kaya nabanggit ko kanina na hindi ko na kaya na tiisin pa. Tinanong ko yung nanay ko, it was Saturday morning, hindi ko talaga makalimutan yun. Tinanong ko habang namamlansa siya. So tinanong ko, sabi ko, Nay, ampun po ba ako? Nung binanggit ko yun, biglang umiyak na yung nanay ko. Nung umiyak siya, inamin niya na ampun ako. Alam niyo yung initial reaction ko, nag-impake po ako. No? Tinanggal ko yung mga libro, notebooks ko sa bag. Nilagyan ko ng damit. Sabi ko sa nanay ko, hahanapin ko yung totoong magulang ko. Hinayaan lang po ako ng nanay.
Ilang taon po
Hinayaan
kayo?
niya lang ako. I was 12, no? 12. Grade 6 po ako noon eh. Tandang-tanda ako. Hinayaan niya lang ako. So, nandun kasi yung bahay namin, siguro mga 20 meters along the National Highway. I mean, distance yan. Tinitingnan ako ng nanay ko sa kalsada. Nandun ako nakatayo sa tabi ng National Highway. Nakatayo ako doon ng 30 minutes. No? 30 minutes. So, ang sumagi sa kaisipan ko noon, unang-una, hindi ko naman kilala yung totoo kong magulang, no? Hindi ko
Mm.
rin alam kung saan ako pupunta. Pangatlo, wala akong pera, no?
Mm.
Pero iyak ako ng iyak. Iyak ako ng iyak. 30 minutes ako nandun sa tabi ng National Highway. After 30 minutes, sabi ko, babalik na lang po ako sa bahay. So, nung tumakbo ako pauwi, tumakbo rin yung nanay ko. Sinalubong niya ako, niyakap. Sabi niya sa akin na kahit ampun ka, turing ka naming tunay na anak. Which napansin ko yun. Ever since noon na nalaman ko ng ampun ko, hanggang lumaki po ako, hindi ko po nadama na iba ako sa kanila. Hindi ko rin nadama na ampun ako. No, yung mga nagbubuli sa akin, huminto na sila sa pagbubuli. Yung pala, kinausap na sila ng nanay ko. Oo. Yung mga kamag-anak namin, no, kinausap na sila. Huwag niyong ibuli si Sam. Kasi ampun siya, totoo, pero anak ang turing namin sa kanya. So, nakita ko rin paano kami pinalaki doon sa totoong anak at ako. Wala pong pagkakaiba. So, hindi ko nadama na ako po'y ampon. No? Kaya ako'y nagpapasalamat talaga sa nag-ampon sa akin. Ipinadama nila na ako'y tunay na anak. Ako'y tunay na anak. Kaya it's a matter of acceptance actually. No? It's a matter of accepting na, and ako, I'll be forever grateful to my adoptive parents because through them, nakilala ko ang Panginoon. Kaya I'll be forever grateful to them because I became an orphan at the age of 18 kasi yung nag-adapt sa akin, they both died, no, on that particular year, way back 1992. I was only 18 and my sister was only 14. Kaya napakatindi ng nangyari sa amin, pero it's a matter of accepting who you are and being grateful dahil dinala ka ng Panginoon. May plano si Lord sa buhay ko from the start, no? From the start. Pero my heart's desire pa rin talaga, no, is sana Lord in my lifetime ma-meet ko yung biological parents ko.
Manawagan ka na. Baka nakikinig sila.
Oo, yeah. Hindi kasi nila nasabi sa akin bago sila namatay. Hindi nila nasabi kung sino yung nanay ko, anong pangalan nila, tatay ko. Kasi
Nakakaiyak
walang-wala
naman pala yan.
Opo.
Kaya nga, Ma'am Vicky, tawag ko sa kanya, he was orphaned twice but adopted 3 times. Orphaned twice, adopted 3 times. Yung ganun.
Wow, wow.
Kaya, yun po.
Wow. So thank you for sharing your story. So, of course, obvious naman that God will speak through that, that's experience, no, na you felt love, walang difference. Tapos yung picture nung yung tumakbo ka,
Naiyak ako
pabalik,
doon Naiyak
pabalik ng
ako.
Prodigal
bahay.
son.
Tapos
Oo.
tumakbo din yung parent mo. So,
Nanay.
how does that affect you today? I mean, the way you see God. I mean, I guess in your preaching, lumalabas yun. So, how's that? Anong effect nun sa'yo?
Sa akin talaga, the more I really appreciate yung love ni Lord sa akin, yun talaga yung message ko rin sa mga constituents ko na grabe talaga yung love ni Lord. Just like the story of the prodigal son, despite of who we are and what we are, despite of all our failures, deliberate failures natin, but still God choose to love us. No, so kaya nga stillborn love, love talaga ni Lord sa atin. So with that experience, nung ako'y bumalik na dahil di ko naman talaga alam saan ako pupunta at wala rin akong pera at that time. So sabi ko, Lord, uwi na lang ako sa bahay. So ganon. So habang tumatakbo ako, di ko napansin, tumatakbo rin pala yung nanay ko pasalubong sa akin, and yun yung hindi ko makalimutan talaga na yung higpit ng yakap niya sa akin. And kaya yun, napakagandang experience po talaga yon sa buhay ko. No? Tinanggap pa rin nila ako, bilang anak po nila.
Naalala ko tuloy, Kuya Junjin, sa kwento ni Pastor Sam, yung the fighting father, parang the fighting mother naman kasi 'di ba nung niyakap ka niya
Yeah.
tapos sinabihan niya yung mga kamag-anakan na stop bullying Sam, 'di ba? Parang ipinaglaban din siya. So maganda yung
Yeah.
halimbawa na ginawa niya.
Mm. Akala siguro kasi ng mga friends mo biro-biro lang ano, 'di ba?
Yeah.
Pag biro-biro lang parang okay sabihin eh, parang gano'n. Although it's not, no? Pero nung nalaman na totoo, I guess they felt, oops, mali, 'di ba? Mali pala yung ginagawa niya, no?
Yeah.
So stop bullying, yung mga nambubully, stop bullying. It's not helping, 'di ba?
Yeah.
Kasi
Speaking
aside
meron
from
po.
bullying, marami pa yung... Sorry.
Yes. Sige po. What were you
Kasi aside
saying?
from bullying, marami pa yung mga issues hinahandle yung mga bata. Kasi deep-seated yung mga adopted child or children. They have so many issues because deep-seated yung abandonment nila issue, yung rejection issue, tapos mabully pa sila. You know, all these things. And so sometimes they act out and sometimes they don't really understand why they are, you know, acting out like that. But actually, it's, you know, coming out and all those emotions are just there. Sometimes they don't know how to express it po talaga. Yun. Tapos you add bullying, ay grabe na talaga. Ako, I educate my people. There's this monthly thing that we once a year, first week of November, we educate our people about adoption and the Ministry of Adoption. And one time my tita went and sabi niya, "Oh, Hope, saan ang adopted nyo?" I stopped and I looked at her and said, "My son has a name." Ginanon ko po talaga. Ay, may pangalan po siya. So, ginanon ko po. So,
Fun Sunday.
yung si tita ba, sabi niya, "Saan ang adopted mo?" Hindi ako pumayag na she will treat him like that. He has a name. Call him by his name. Yung ganun po. It wasn't disrespectful naman when I said it.
Alright.
Si
So,
Pastor
Pastor
Sam.
Sam,
Sige. Kay Junjun, go ahead.
Pastor Sam, ano yung, syempre, di ba, nalaman mo na ano ka, yung day na yun, nalaman mo adopted ka. So, ano yung initial emotions mo regarding your real parents? Of course, you don't know them, pero how did you feel? Parang galit ka ba? Parang talaga tong mga parents pa tong pinamigay? Or was there self-pity? Was there, I have to find them?
Yes.
Ano yung mga emotions na naghalo-halo na sa heart ninyo?
Kwento mo paano ka binigay?
So I was, nung nalaman ko talaga, medyo hindi pa gaano nag-sink in talaga, no? Pero napapaisip na ako. Then after that embracing moment namin ng nanay ko sa kalsada, umuwi kami, tapos he gives the story, no? Anong nangyari along the way, bakit nang ganon. So deep in my heart, gusto ko talagang makilala yung biological parents ko at tanungin bakit ako ipinamigay. Yun talaga ang gusto kong masagot until right now, no? Yung pa rin ang heart's desire ko talaga. Lord, sabi ko, kung lulubin mo na makilala ko yung magulang ko, tatanungin ko talaga bakit niyo ako pinamigay.
So hindi po alam ng nanay mo yun? Hindi niya
Yun
alam
po.
ng nanay.
Pero yung kwento sa akin, yung nga po, no? Actually, somewhere in Santa Ana, Manila. Ewan ko anong hospital dyan. Way back 1974. Yung yung adoptive parents ko, nag-work sa Talavera, Nueva Ecija. Then natapos yung work nila, that was the month of May, pauwi na sila sa Cotabato. No? North Cotabato. So, nung nasa barko na sila, sinabi ng kapitan na nasira yung barko. So, 3 araw pa raw bago aalis yung barko. So, nandun lang sila, standby, nandun lang sila sa barko. Tapos, may nakapansin, nakarinig na wala silang anak. 4 na taon na silang mag-asawa pero wala silang anak. May nagsabi na meron siyang kakilala dyan sa somewhere Santa Ana Hospital, willing ibigay yung bata, babayaran lang yung hospital bill. So, biglang bumaba yung adoptive parents. Pinuntahan yung hospital, binayaran. Tapos binigay na po ako. So nung araw na last day na nung barko, alis na the following day, ang sabi, umakyat yung biological mother ko para makita ako for the last time. No, kinarga ako raw at niyakap at nagpaalam. Okay, that was the last time, no, that encounter with my biological mother. And the rest is history. No? So, yun po ang kwento sa akin. So, pinamigay ako. That's because hindi ako kayang buhayin ng aking biological mother because she was a college student, 18 years old, nag-aaral po sa Manila. At walang kaalam-alam ang kanyang magulang sa probinsya. So, that was the story. That was the story. Yeah. So, nung nasabi sa akin yun, so I was trying to, I tried to understand, no? I tried to understand. Pero sabi ko, may plano talaga si Lord ever since napunta ako sa isang mananampalatayang mag-asawa. Kaya yun po. Ako rin at the end, parang at the end of the day, sabi ko, I'm really grateful to the Lord. Na sabi ko, Lord, kung hindi ako pinamigay siguro, ewan ko, anong buhay ko ngayon, ano? Pero the very first day of my life, God has orchestrated everything. You know? Kaya ako po'y patuloy nagpapasalamat talaga sa Panginoon with this particular experience.
Yeah. Ilan taon? Well, for the sake, baka mamaya makikinig, ano? Yung
nga po, no? Yung nga gusto ko talaga.
Ilan taon na po kayo ngayon?
I'm 48. Yeah, I'm 48 years old.
So, sinabi ba ilang taon kayo? Or ilang months pa lang kayo nung binigay ka? Kasi hospital,
actually, days lang po. Days. Kaya yung birthday ko na May 30, 1974, hindi po yun ang tunay na birthday ko because May 30, 1974, yan yung araw na dumating sila sa Cotabato. Pinarehistro ako kaagad. Siguro most likely way back siguro mga
May
line
5,
2
ganyan.
siguro.
May
Something
2.
like that po, no? Yeah.
Alright. Tapos Santa Ana. Ang dami nga
Yes.
mga dorm. Kasi I lived in Santa Ana for 4 years, no. In fact, yung tinira namin bahay nung sa wife ko. There was a time na ito sa dorm for students, no? So, yun, mga babae. Tapos yun, may mga ganung kwento na sa ibang dorm house daw, may mga ganung kwento that nabuntis as they gave up their child, no? So, kasi nga mga estudyante. Yeah. So when you heard that story, nung sinabi sa yung story yun, how old were you then at that time?
I was only 12, no? 12 years old.
Oo. So, nung sinabi yun, how did you feel? Nung sinabi yun, naintindihan mo ba? Ano yung emotions na nag-ano sa'yo?
It was really a mixed emotions during that time. I was trying to understand pero hindi ko talaga maunawaan pa gaano, no? Parang as the days goes by, doon ko palang unti-unting nag-sink in na yung mga tanong ko na bakit ako pinamigay, no? Bakit ganyan? Then I was trying to be observant also sa adoptive parents ko, no? Pinapalagwan ko talaga kung paano nila ako tratuhin, magbago ba yung pagtrato nila sa akin, baka mas paboran nila yung totoong anak nila. So, yun ang kwan ko noon na every time na pinapagalitan ako, parang dahil ampon ako siguro. Ganon, no? Pero buti na lang, napapaliwanag naman sa akin bakit kita pinalo. Kasi pinapalo po kami noon no? Bakit kita ganyan? Dahil nagkamali ka. Mali yung ginawa. Which at the end naman, na-appreciate ko rin yung disiplina ng magulang ko sa akin. No, yun every time noon, no? Every time nung hindi pa talaga ako na-settle dun sa issue ng adoption ko, every time na dinidisiplina ako, sinasabi ko parati, dahil siguro ampon ako. Yun ang parati kong nire-reason out. No, bakit parang may favoritism? Sabi ko, bakit yung kapatid ko ganito? Bakit ako wala? Something like that. Pero puro lang pala assumptions yun, no? Pero kagandahan lang dahil every time na papaluin kami, ini-explain bakit kami dapat paluin. So doon ko na rin na firm na mahal talaga ako ng adopted parents ko.
Si Miss Hope naman, ano naman po yung naramdaman niyo nung una ninyong mahawakan si Chosen? So,
Hindi mapaliwanag ang emosyon. And would you believe that when we fetch him, kasi actually he's from another city, kasi di ba we cannot choose the baby. So ang matching committee before, meron lang silang centralized. So if the child will come from Luzon or Visayas or Mindanao, kung halimbawa na-match ka from Mindanao, doon mo kukunin yung bata. So kami sa somewhere in Visayas. And so when we went there, he was the only child who was laughing out loud talaga. You know, I think he felt na susunduin na siya. And nung, ilan ba sila? 12 kids, no? 12 yung mga infant, toddlers. Siya lang ang tumatawa that time. And so when I carried him for the first time, unexplainable po yung emotions. And he was happy all the way talaga. He wasn't crying. We did not have problems with him. Kasi sinundo lang namin siya by plane. Pag uwi namin, 3 na kami that same day. So walang crying moment siya. Sweetheart, no? He was just laughing and laughing all the way. That's why kasi magkakamukha sila eh. And, surprisingly, magkakamukha sila lahat. Kaya lang sabi sa amin, Pastor, saan sa tingin niyo ang anak ninyo dyan? And since he was the only one who was smiling and laughing, we knew it was him talaga. So, yun po.
Oh, so most likely Bisaya yung anak ninyo. Bisaya.
Apo.
Kayo,
Doon
meron ba kayong dugong Bisaya? Kayo?
I'm an GI, genuine Ilongga po.
Ako po ay pure Ilocano. Ilocano ako pero lumaki sa Cotabato. Pero we can speak Cebuano, we can speak Ilonggo.
Yes, ako. Chabacano, we can also speak.
Oh, all right.
From
Si
Mindanao.
Chosen marunong ba siya magbisaya?
Tinuturuan namin kasi from time to time we go to Mindanao for mga conferences or ministries, and yes, we are teaching him how to speak Cebuano. Bisaya.
Wow. Galing. Miss Vicky, meron pa ba kayong katanungan para sa couple?
parang gusto kong malaman, kasi kanina sinabi ni Pastor Sam na nung malaman niya 12 years old siya, no? So medyo bata ka pa noon. Ano po yung advantages nung mga adopted children na malaman nila na mas bata pa kaysa yung malaman nila na late na, like 20 plus na sila or 30s na sila or 40s na sila. Minsan 50 nga lang nalaman nila adopted sila. Ano po yung mga disadvantages and advantages nung mas malaman ng mas bata pa?
Okay. Based sa aking pagtatanong din, kasi marami rin akong kakilalang mga ampon, mas marami po yung nagrebelde kapag medyo late na nalaman. At ang masakit pa, nalaman pa nila sa iba. Naampon sila. So yun yung hindi nila matanggap, bakit hindi sinabi sa kanila ng mas maaga at galing sa magulang nila yung information. Kaya kami, I think, para sa akin, it's my personal opinion, mas maganda po na sabihin ng mas maaga. Yung mapaliwanag ng mabuti. Yan lang naman talaga po ang dapat mapaliwanag ng mabuti sa bata, yung reasons bakit siya pinaampon. Kasi yun naman talaga technically by default, yun ang tatanungin ng bata, bakit ako ipinamigay? No. Anong reason? Sabi nga, give me a good or valid reasons why, bakit ako pinamigay. So upang hindi naman kaagad nila matanggap yan, it would take time, no, to process it, no? Gabayan talaga sila. Yun po ang aking opinion regarding that, no? The early age, the better. And dapat manggaling talaga doon sa nag-ampon. Magulang, yun talaga, sabihin. No, kaya nung tinanong kami ng child psychologist kung nasabi na ba daw namin yung situation ng anak. So ang sabi sa amin, yes, po, ma'am, sabi mo, 2 years old, sabi niya, hindi ba late na yan? 2 years old.
Isn't that too late, sabi sa
Sabi ko,
akin.
paano kaya? Yung
Oo.
1-year-old ba, kaya na ba? So, pero ang ginawa nung wife ko, dinaan niya sa kwento.
Storytelling
Oh,
every night po.
yeah.
And usually po, sasabihin kasi ng mga adoptive parents, oh, hindi sila ready.
Mm.
But actually, it's not the child who is not ready, but the parents
Yes.
are really not
Tama
ready.
po.
And in our case, as anak namin kay Chosen, when he had to, kasi during the pandemic, he's a very people person. And so, he talks a lot and he loves to be with people. So during the pandemic, he had time to think through his adoption. So it was really painful for him and he was showing signs of, depression. And so we had to arrest it kasi sabi namin baka mahulog sa depression, of which at that time, there were so many children who were, having this depression, no? And one of those things is yung issue niya on adoption. And he told us, one night, he just, wailed. Ang term namin, it's not cry. He really wailed. Alam mo yun. And then, he told us, Nanay, sana mas malaki na ako when you told me about adoption. Baka kakayanin ko. Yun ang sabi niya. And then we had to explain to him why we had to tell him. Sabi namin, would you rather hear it from other people? What about yung trust? Would you trust us if you learned it from other people? Yung mga ganun, pinaliwan. After that, after he cried so hard that night, healing began. And we know that really healing began. Kasi nagbago rin talaga yung ugali niya. Unti-unti niya nang natanggap. And then he would openly tell about his adoption stories to others po. Siya nang nagkukwento ngayon sa iba. And even his real name. Oo. But it was, tulad ng sabi ko po, hindi po talaga madali. But it's all by the grace of God.
Yeah.
Oh,
God
yeah, I
is
think
gracious.
Miss Vicky, maybe it's a good time to read the last counseling question kasi related sa sinasabi nila ngayon.
Sige, basahin na natin, Kuya Junjin. Mabait po ang adoptive parents ko, pero hindi ko mapigilan makadama ng lungkot na ako ay ampon. Okay lang bang hanapin ko ang biological parents ko? Ayoko kasing masaktan ang adoptive parents ko dahil sa kagustuhan kong ito.
Yun.
Yun,
Right,
maghahanap na.
Yan na. So,
Excited akong sagutin yan.
sige, before
Yeah,
we answer that,
Yes, okay.
alam ko gusto niyo sagutin. We'll go on a
Yes.
short break. And
All right.
we'll have an answer from Pastor Sam and Miss Hope. See you later.
Heartline, kung saan pinapakinggan ang iyong nararamdaman.
Ako po si Pastor Arvin Mario ng Victory Church International Christian Ministries, Antipolo City. Manalangin po tayo. Minsan pa kami, O Diyos, ay lumalapit, humihingi ng tulong, sapagkat Ikaw ang Diyos na siyang dakilang nagkakaloob. Sa panahon ng krisis, Ikaw ang nagsasaayos ng ekonomiya sa bawat kaharian at bawat bansa. Batid mo ang kahirapan na dinaranas ng buong bansa sa COVID-19 pandemic. Iabot mo po ang iyong mapagpalang kamay sa amin na nangangailangan ng iyong habag at awa. Muling pasiglahin, palusugin ang aming ekonomiya mula sa maliliit na mga negosyante hanggang sa pinakamalalaki. Muli, O Diyos, kami nagpapasalamat sapagkat Ikaw ang Diyos na hindi nagbabago noon, ngayon at magpakailanman. Purihin ang iyong pangalan sa pangalan ni Jesus. Amen and Amen.
Sumasay papawid mula sa Maynila. Ito ang Far East Broadcasting Company Philippines.
FEBC.
Himpilang
702 DZAS.
Agapay ng Sambayanan.
Heartline, kung saan pinapakinggan ang iyong nararamdaman.
So magandang gabi po sa inyong lahat. Tayo po ay muling nagbabalik sa ating programang Heartline, kung saan ang inyong nararamdaman ay pinapakinggan. Ako po si Vicky Di Choco at kasama po natin si Pastor Junjin Gepelano at ang ating pong mga guest na si Pastor Sam and si Miss Hope. So ayan. So muli po ay basahin po natin ang ating counseling questions kanina sa mga ngayon lang po nag-tune in. Ito po yung tanong natin. Mabait po ang adoptive parents ko, pero hindi ko po mapigilan makadama ng lungkot na ako ay ampon. Okay lang bang hanapin ko ang biological parents ko? Ayoko kasing masaktan ng adoptive parents ko dahil sa kagustuhan kong ito. So, sino po yung gustong sumagot sa inyo?
Ako siguro.
Sige.
Sige. Para sa nagtanong, no, yes, okay na okay po na hanapin ninyo, pero bago nyo gawin, siguro mas maganda kausapin nyo po muna ang adoptive parents nyo, because I am really sure na sumagi na rin yan sa isipan nila na one day hahanap at hahanapin mo. Kailangan lang na ma-convey mo yung nais mo, and hindi naman ibig sabihin na hahanapin mo sila, iiwanan mo. I don't think that is what in your mind. You just want to meet them, no? Gusto mo lang sila makilala. And I am also sure na hindi naman mag-feeling threatened yung adoptive parents mo, kasi na-establish naman nila yung love nila sa'yo, at gayon din ikaw. So, ang ano lang siguro is you communicate your desire to be with the family, or to meet your biological family. Usap lang po, ganun. Ikaw po, Sir Sam.
Yeah, okay na okay yun. No? Tama yung sinabi ni Pastor Hope na you need to really assure yung adoptive parents mo hindi mo sila iiwan. No? May mga ganong scenarios kasi na feeling ng mga adoptive parents pag makilala, no? Iniisip nila agad baka iiwan tayo, no? Tayong nagpalaki, something like that. Baka yung yung biological parents niya mayaman pala, no? Mayaman na. Yung mga ganong parang teleserye rin yung ganyang mga tanong na baka iwan. So, I think yung nagtatanong, dapat i-assure mo lang yung adoptive parents mo na gusto mo lang na magkaroon ng closure, no, doon sa, kasi ang isa pala nararamdaman ko noon is yung nagkaroon ako ng identity crisis, no. Parang sino ba talaga ako, no? Parang saan ako galing, sino ba yung parents ko, yung totoong magulang ko. So magkaroon lang ng closure yung pagkatao mo, na at least, no, nakita mo sila, o nakilala mo na ito pala yung mga biological parents ko. So okay na okay yun, no? Kausapin mo lang yung nag-adapt sa iyo, at alam ko maiintindihan nila yung nais na makilala yung totoo mong magulang. Yan po.
Salamat po. Kuya Junjin, meron ka bang gustong idagdag doon sa kanilang mga sinagot?
Oo. So, yeah, bali ito, no, yung mabait yung kanilang adoptive parents. But I just want to go back yung kaninang nakwento mo, Pastor Sam, na at 18 years old, naulila ka na, no? But still, now, years later, naging ano ka pa rin, naging open ka pa rin to be adoptive parents. So, how's that? Nag-interplay ba yon? Nag-connect ba nag-conflict ba yon, yung dalawang experience na yon in your case?
Okay. During way back 1992, no, that's sabi ko nga, that's the most painful year in my entire life, because both of my adoptive parents died in that particular year. So it's a matter of 1 month and a half yung kanilang interval, and we were financially we hard up at the time, because both of them namatay sa hospital, no? Because my father was diagnosed, meron siyang cancer of the lungs, and that was June, no? Pumunta kami ng Metro Manila. We came from Mindanao, from Cotabato, and doon na confirm yung sakit niya, na may cancer sa lungs, and kumalat na yung cancer. Then expected, sabi ng doktor, November, mamamatay ka na, Manong, November, sabi ng doktor. Walang kagatul-gatul na sinabi. And so, sabi ng tatay ko, uwi na lang kami. So, umuwi kami, July, umuwi kami ng Mindanao. Then, lo and behold, September came, namatay yung nanay ko.
Oh,
then,
nauna pa yung nanay mo.
Yeah. Nauna yung nanay ko, no? Then after 1 month and a half, November 25, namatay ang tatay ko. So, napakahirap na di ko talaga makuan. That's why nagkaroon ako ng extreme anxiety because di na ako makatulog sa kakaisip paano kami mabuhay ng kapatid ko kasi December, nalibing namin, December 5, nalibing yung tatay ko. Then the following day, we received a notice from the bank na pag hindi na loan pala yung bahay namin. No, di namin alam. So, January 5, no? January 5, kukunin na ng bangko yung bahay namin kung hindi namin mababayaran. So, grabe yung experience na yon, and to the point na backslide ako for 1 year and a half. That I have a lot of questions to the Lord. Sabi ko, Lord, bakit? Bakit kami? No, we've been faithful serving you sa buong buhay namin. Naglilingkod kami sa iyo. Bakit ganito ang nangyari sa amin? So it was a painful journey actually. And I cannot understand. Lord, I need answers at this point of time. I question Him, Lord, bakit? And yeah, true enough, 1 year and a half. Dumistansya talaga ako sa Panginoon because hindi ko na siya maintindihan. No? Hindi ko na siya maintindihan yung pagkilos niya sa amin, sa family, because I'm the eldest and I have a sister. Paano kami mabuhay ngayon? And paano yung bahay namin? Sa kami tira? So ang dami kong iniisip at the time. To the point na nagkaroon ako ng extreme anxiety. And through enough, no, and the Lord has proven Himself to us, sa aking kapatid. Doon ko talaga na nakita yung pagkilos ng Panginoon dahil hindi na kuha ng bangko yung bahay namin, no? Merong ni-provide si Lord, nabawi namin yung lupa at bahay, tapos napaaral kami magkapatid hanggang natapos kami ng pag-aaral sa kolehiyo. So doon ko nakita talaga yung pagkilos ng Panginoon. Kaya sabi ko, Lord, salamat. Doon ako nagpasalamat nang binalik niya na ako after 1 year and 6 months. No? The Lord has His own way talaga. Kahit anong gawin mong gusto mong umalis, no, sa Panginoon, pero gagawa talaga siya ng paraan para babalik ka. No? So that was the turning point. That was the turning point. Because from the very start, I know that the Lord has called me. Kaya Samuel ang hiningi ko. Only to find out na meron palang covenant yung nanay ko sa akin. Sabi pala, Lord, kung bigyan mo ako ng anak na lalaki, siya ay magiging pastor. Yun ang kuha niya. Kaya lalaki ang dumating, kaya Samuel pala ang pangalan ko. Meron pala yung agreement kay Lord before. That's why kahit ayaw ko magpastor noon, the Lord has His own way. Kaya nakuha ko talaga yung adoption story ko, and the very reason bakit kami nag-adopt is because the Lord wants me na ma-experience din ng bata yung na-experience ko sa adoptive parents ko. No? So sabi ko, Lord, this is it. No? This is it. That's a very clear command, calling from you na we need to adopt. No? Kasi gusto mong maranasan ng batang ito yung naranasan ko. No? Naranasan kong mapabilang sa isang Kristiyanong pamilya na sa murang edad nakilala ko ang Panginoon. So ito po yung aming layunin ngayon, na itong anak namin ay magkaroon din. Actually, na-receive niya na si Lord sa buhay niya at naway magpapatuloy, at ang dream at panalangin din namin, gagawin niya rin, no? Yung ginawa namin sa kanya na mag-aampon din yung aming anak, no? Sa yung through generation and to generation. Yan po, Pastor Junji.
Pastor Sam, bali para someone took over in taking care of you and your sister. Meron bang gano'n? Kamag-anak ba yun? Church community ba yun?
Yes. Actually, ang tumulong talaga sa amin is yung mga kapatid ng tatay ko and the church community. No, sila po yung nag-journey sa amin, no, in one way or another. Kaya nagpapasalamat din tayo sa mga kamag-anak at also yung aming home church sa amin they journeyed with us in some way or another. They help us, no, hindi lang sa moral prayer but even sa financial, no, they help us out.
Wow. Natanong ko po yan kasi in our 20-week program, what we teach there is that after our biological parents, our parent is actually God the Father. And the God the Father parents us, of course, directly through our personal relationship, but also secondarily through the church. Through the church or being parented. In your case, talagang very tangible siya na through the church and relatives, you were fathered again. So I'm very
Ganda.
touched. I'm very touched with your story, and it confirms what we are teaching here in our 20-week program at Living Waters. Ayun. Kasi we say, yes, sometimes it's through the church that we're wounded, but also it's through the church
Healed.
that we are healed and
Healed.
restored. So that's very true with your story. Galing, galing. Miss Vicky, meron ba kayong madadagdag doon?
Ang ganda, Kuya Junjin, parang mahal talaga ng Lord yung mga orphans, no? Sabi nga sa Bible,
Yes.
the true religion is to look after orphans in their time of distress and to keep them from being polluted by the world. So, talagang what a blessing, talagang kinip kayo ng Lord, talagang bless niya kayo, and the Lord provided a way talaga para hindi kayo niya pinabayaan, never, no? So, yun yung blessing, the blessing of the Lord.
Yeah, I think that should bring us to the next part of the segment, which is we'll ask Pastor Sam and Miss Hope to bless and pray for the segments in society that we just covered right now, which is yung those considering abortion, those who are considering giving their child for adoption. And ano nga ba yung pangatlo, Miss Vicky?
Those adopted po.
Yeah.
Yes. Those adopted. So yung tatlong sectors na yon that we believe you have a heart for. And the right people to pray for them. Is that okay? Maybe ask you to pray for them?
Pero before mag-pray sila, kasi parang may time pa naman tayo. Gusto ko lang itanong kina Pastor Sam and Miss Hope yung the blessing of adopting at saka yung dahil ikaw din na naranasan mo din yung being adopted ka, ano din yung blessing na natanggap mo being adopted son at ano din yung blessing ninyo ngayon as adoptive parents?
Before I say something, no, yung family pala ni Sam, marami po sila adopted sa family. So they just love to adopt children po, yung Carino clan. So anyway, the blessing of adoption, first is, of course, you are able to pass on the legacy of faith. Isa po yun talaga sa blessing of adoption. Na you are able to, teach and disciple yung mga adopted mo na mga bata. Isa talaga yon na you are able to teach them to love the Lord our God with all their hearts, with all their minds, and I think that is really very important. No, that's the blessing of one of the blessings of adoption, and of course, nare-reinforce mo rin yung truth ba na we are adopted by God the Father, no? And so that's really something. And kaya nga sa family, sabi ko nga, sweetheart, you have been orphaned twice, but you have been adopted 3 times. Kasi kasama na doon yung pag-adapt sa'yo ng Panginoong Diyos. And when our son asked me, are you adopted, Nay? Sabi ko, yes, by God. Yun. So, I like that truth, how we tangibly reinforce through adoption, yung adoption mismo ng ating Panginoong Diyos sa atin. Blessing of adoption.
Blessing, marami actually, no? Pero sa akin, isa talaga na nakita ko na you can really empathize with those who are going through such adoption. No? I can empathize with them, and also it's a blessing to journey with them. No, that's why we are now advocates of legal adoption. No, we really encourage. No, dito sa mga pastors code, we have the same case na walang mga anak and gustong shortcut. No, sabi ko hindi pwede yan. And I really encourage them because ang mentality kasi nila kagad magasto, ganito, mataas ang mahaba proseso. Sabi ko, meron tayong mga Christian NGOs na ang advocacy nila is itong mga abandoned o mga batang walang mga magulang ay mapunta sa isang Christian family. Meron po tayong mga NGOs na ganyan, no? Kagaya nung nagtumulong sa amin yung Home for Good Foundation, no? So yung advocacy nila is itong mga bata ito mapunta sa isang Christian family. So that's it. So we are now advocating creating itong adoption awareness sa mga simbahan natin, which na marami pong mga Christians na they want to adopt, kaya lang medyo iba yung kanilang perspective, iba yung kanilang tingin sa adoption kasi parang meron pang stigma, no? Meron pang stigma yung kapag sinabi mong ampun ka, no, mag-ampun ka na lang, something like that. So ito yung ninanais natin mabago sa kaisipan, lalong-lalo na sa ating mga churches po natin. So yun po.
Yeah, I agree with that. Oh. Just last week, we had a event sa Victory, no? Ang tawag, Family is the Answer. So I don't know if you're familiar with that. Every year yun. Every year, talk about, natigil lang ng pandemic, pero nag-resume siya this year, about the option of adoption.
Yes.
So, salamat po. So, Kuya Junjin, meron ka pa bang ibang mga katanungan bago tayo mag-pray?
Yeah, I think we've received a lot already regarding adoption in the physical realm, in the world realm, and na-touch din yung actually we are all adopted, no?
Yes, amen.
By God the Father, no? So it's a truth that totoo lang, I know that in my mind. That's a blessing really, but I'm in a lifetime journey of understanding that, of taking that in, and actually feeling and acting according to that truth. No, talagang nandun ako sa process na yan. Lifetime process siya. So I believe many of our listeners are in that journey as well. No, so yun, yung kanina na pag-usapan natin na 3 kinds, especially now, no, yung mga gustong, hindi man gusto, but are being tempted to abort their child.
O siguro naliwanagan na sila ngayon, Kuya Junjin, na mas maganda na itong adoption na lang instead of abortion, di ba?
Yeah.
Yes.
Saka, there is a statistic, hindi ko lang, now is a good time maybe to share this before we pray, na kasi meron dyan yung mga, kasi daw, na rape or basta unwanted child, so ipapa-abort daw. And 90% pala of those who decided, for those who kept it, 90% kept the child, 90% are very thankful na they kept their children. No? So yun, yung mga nagko-consider for that. And also, yung those who are considering having their child adopted. And also the last one is those, pag-pray din yung mga nagko-consider, katulad yun, nagko-consider mag-adopt. So, yun. Maybe you can pray for these people.
Yeah. Sige po. All right. Pray na tayo?
Sige po.
Okay, let's come. Let's come to the Lord in prayer. We thank you, dear Lord, for this wonderful opportunity to share our story, especially, Lord, our adoption journey as a couple, and also bilang isang adopted din, Panginoon. And at this point of time, we thank you for this platform that through this we can encourage and also minister to those who are considering abortion, Panginoon. It's because they have this situation na itong batang ito is unwanted. And we pray for them right now, Lord, that you will just touch their hearts.
Yes.
And instead of abortion, they will consider adoption, Lord, because there's a lot of Christian NGOs, support groups, Lord, who will journey with them, who will help them out, Lord. And we pray also those who are considering adopting a child, Lord, continue, Lord, to minister to them, continue to encourage them, Lord, that they will continue to pursue the adoption process, because at this point of time, Lord, na-shorten na po ang process ng adoption. So, Father, to those who are adopted right now, Lord, nasaan man sila ngayon, nawa Panginoon, hindi po nila dapat ikahiya na sila po'y ampon, at kundi sila'y magpapasalamat dahil napunta sila sa kanilang mga adoptive parents, Panginoon, na meron po kayong napakagandang layunin sa buhay ng bawat isa. Lalong-lalo na ang sa lahat ng mga ampon na nakikinig ngayon, Lord, continue to minister to them, because their story, Lord, will be a wonderful testimony of your goodness and faithfulness sa kanilang mga buhay. So, Father, ito po ang aming samot panalangin sa gabing ito, Lord. In Jesus' name, Amen at saka Amen.
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 Thank you very much, Pastor Sam, Miss Hope, for all the insights and stories, for being vulnerable in your emotions as you share to us yung mga karanasan ninyo as adoptive parents, and yung as someone who is adopted. Parang very rare yung ganong combination for our guests here.
Yeah.
Miss Vicky, you have something to say in closing?
Nagpapasalamat din ako kina Pastor Sam and kay Miss Hope, and thank you for giving light doon sa mga nag-iisip na magpa-abort, na this is a chance to have their children to have a happy life and ma-fulfill yung dream ng ibang parents naman to have children of their own. Their own children through adoption, no? And also salamat po sa inyo. At Kuya Junjin, pasalamatan natin ang ating mga listeners din. At syempre, yung mga kasama natin sa control, Kuya Junjin.
Oo nga pala, no? So, before we end, no? Let me thank maraming salamat sa ating listeners at sa mga kasama natin sa control, sila JB Tabua, Reggie Villena, Benjo Morano, at Radyo TV team na sina Wenmark Balatukan, Abby Glindo, Chris Rosete, Jong Perez at Eileen Valdez. Katuwang din natin sa broadcast na ito ay si Brian De La Cruz. And yung napakinggan ang programang Heartline dito sa 702 DZAS FEBC Radio TV, agapay ng sambayanan dito sa Ortigas Center, Pasig City. Miyembro ng kapisanan ng Broadcaster ng Pilipinas. Maraming salamat sa inyong pakinig. Hanggang sa muli, ito po ang Heartline Monday Edition kung saan pinapakinggan ang iyong nararamdaman. Thank you again, Miss Vicky. Thank you again, Pastor Sam and Miss Hope. God bless you.
So much.
God bless you po.
Heartline, kung saan pinapakinggan ang iyong nararamdaman.